Hey guys, so watch this video here for Tuesday, May 11th. Showing you the SPY, kind of an ugly day in the SPY. And we look at 5-minute candles. You can see, I mean, most of it happened in the afternoon. Things just fell apart. I'm not sure, like, if there was a catalyst or if, the market's just starting to show signs of weakness. I actually tweeted, I don't know, like last week, something along, I'm paraphrasing here, but something like, for the market sitting at all-time highs, there are a lot of ugly charts out there. So it is kind of weird. There's a lot of ugliness out there, but yet the market's hanging out near all-time highs. So it almost feels like, maybe we're going to have some kind of a sell-off soon. Having said that, I've never made any money trying to time the market or predict a sell-off. I mean, think about this. Just even going back to August, I guarantee there's been people that saying the market's going to sell off, so I'm not getting long this entire time, right? And you can switch to weekly candles, and there's probably been people saying it, from March 2020, like, oh, okay, the market's done now, and having a bearish thesis as the market just keeps hitting new highs doesn't make you any money at all. So it's a strong market, right? Anyway, but I am saying, like, just a couple examples. Look at Amazon. There's the daily, just hit all-time highs. I want to say about 2 weeks ago, and you can't see it on this chart, but it's basically sitting right on the 200-day. It basically closed right around the 200-day. Tesla kind of starting to roll over and look ugly. There's just a couple of big names that I noticed today that just don't look so good. So be careful out there. But again, I don't ever make any money off of predicting market sell-offs, and I just take it on a day by day. I'm in cash every night. Don't hold anything overnight. So and then look for the in-play stocks on any given day and trade them when we get an A-plus intraday setup. It seems like an oversimplification, but sometimes I think it's smart to go back and realize technically that's what, at least somebody who's doing what I do and what we teach in our course, that's the crux of it, right? Taking it on a day by day, playing the recent high flyers or the in-play stocks from today, maybe gappers, that sort of thing, and then just trading A-plus intraday setups that we teach in our course. So, you kind of oversimplify it, but in a way, it makes it seem less complicated when you break it down to what we're really doing. All right, anyway, what are we trading? What am I looking to possibly trade is the best way to put that. Tomorrow, ALF gapped up again, sold off, but ended up having kind of a strong close. It's certainly interesting to me if it breaks today's high, which was 491 tomorrow, right? Because then you had the recent high of 560, maybe the whole number 5 comes into play and so on. So I want to watch that one. PRPO, Kevin P in chat was all over this thing today. Just kept spotting, he stayed with it and spotted a few good entry points. Honestly, I can't remember. I think I traded this once today. Actually, it was green today, but I was less green than my worst day last week, if that makes any sense. So I was green, but it wasn't a big day for me by any stretch. Monday's out of the way. Maybe maybe we'll get some better setups tomorrow. Anyway, this had a really nice bounce, but closing well off its highs. You could maybe attribute some of that to market weakness. So it's definitely going to be on watch tomorrow, keeping in line with, focusing on the in-play or recent high flyers, right? DTSS, decent volume spike. I mean, bigger volume than the last 3 months, and a fairly strong close when you consider the weakness of the market. This is not a handsome chart, but I am going to watch it. BTX is going to go on bounce watch. This had this move that pretty much we all agreed had no business going from 10 to 80, right? But we've seen that before. Nice squeeze. Now shorts are killing it, right? They 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red days in a row. It did get down near the 20-day today. So if it's going to bounce, I want it to happen tomorrow. Again, I'll only trade that with one of the intraday bounce play setups that we teach. But certainly worth watching now. Let's see, that's BTX COUR was on bounce watch today. Again, remember, I'm just looking, this is what it looked like coming into today and what happened. Just another red day, no setup, no A-plus setups. So it just goes back on bounce watch for tomorrow. I'm not bullish on this chart, but I am saying, hey, we might get a snapback bounce in it tomorrow. And since I'm a day trader, that's how I make my money on intraday trades. That's COUR. Amazon, I'm throwing on watch. Just talked about this one. After hitting all-time highs, it's actually, again, it's worked its way down to the 200-day. So if there's a market bounce, this is actually a pretty good candidate to have a nice snap bounce off that 200-day. ISNS was super strong back here. Had a decent secondary bounce, but intraday gave most of that back. But when you take all that out of it, and you basically, the crux of it is you have a very strong stock, recently strong, a recent high flyer, if you will, and now 3 clean days down into that buy zone we talked about between the 8 and the 20. So it is interesting to me. That's ISNS, a few more here. CUE, nice breakout today, closing off its highs, but again, maybe attributed to market weakness. We'll look for some kind of continuation pattern tomorrow. IHT was just stupid strong today. Somebody in chat pointed this out when I want to say it looked like this. Now, there's no setup. They just said relative strength or something, right? For me, this thing just kept going. I never found an entry. I would actually call it a 2's buy zone play because it was so strong near the end of the day. And right there, it gets in the 2's buy zone and makes a pretty nice bounce, maybe 70 or 80 cents. I didn't get it. I missed my bid by 1 penny. I am not lying. 566 was my bid. It went to 567. And again, then bounced up probably $1 actually, a little bit more than $1. So a little aggravating, but it's so strong that I'm going to watch it tomorrow. All right. That one. And then if that one holds up, and again, it's really extended, but if it holds up, there are a few stocks to watch with it. I'll just mention them here. MDRR, AHT, which there was a nice sympathy call on AHT in the chat room when IHT was ripping, and maybe a couple others too. And I'll talk about them in chat tomorrow if IHT holds up and rips again. Again, I don't want to go long this thing after this kind of a move, but we'll see. That whole space is worth watching. A couple more. DDD, which back in January and February was the strongest stock in the whole wide world, has been bleeding lower ever since, right? Well, in after hours, they reported, and as I'm talking, it's trading at 20.50. So we do have a potential gap play tomorrow. We'll see. Again, it's not a pretty daily chart, and it's not really gapping up above a whole lot of resistance either, but I will watch it. And then NTEC did have nice volume for this stock today, but it's mostly on watch because in after hours, it's trading at 510. So another potential gapper. And that's it. We'll add other gappers in the pre-market as well in addition to this list, and there should be plenty to trade. And I'm done babbling. We'll see you guys in the chat room in the morning.